Imagine you wake up one morning and you rush straight to the restroom when you feel a pressure rising from your stomach. You relieve yourself and then think about what you did last night. You do remember hanging out with your boyfriend, so immediately you purchase a pregnancy test. Later on, you're shocked to see the results come back as positive. You then think about the options. You can either keep the baby and raise it, give it up for adoption, or you can have an abortion. You sit down and think, is having an abortion really that bad? To some, yes, abortions can seem very immoral and wrong because they believe that killing a baby before having it is definitely not right. On the other hand, many mothers who go through with an abortion believe it is their best option because they are unprepared to really be held responsible of raising a child. Around 25% of women in the United States have had an abortion, and the reasons might vary. For instance, in a 2004 survey by the Gutschman Institute, 25% of women said that they got an abortion because they weren't ready of raising a child. Another 23% of women stated that they cannot afford to have a child due to their circumstance. Additionally, sexual abuse can play into a role here. If women have gone through sexual abuse and they follow with the procedure of raising the child, this can definitely have a traumatic past for them when they look at their child. In fact, if a child is not being raised with the love and the devotion a parent usually gives a child, this can definitely affect the rest of their life and how they perceive the world. Yet, we still have many pro-lifers who disagree with the idea of having an abortion. For example, there are authors such as Patrick Lee and Robert G. George who had stated in their book, and I quote, "The embryo is the human genetical makeup," end quote. And although this is very true, and obviously as a woman gets pregnant, the child is now considered a human too, correct? But the baby also has many more weeks and months even to go in order to be fully developed as a human. Within the 4 to 6 weeks of the pregnancy, all that the baby is really developing at the moment is the brain. And then there's a process in which the baby is still developing later on. In conclusion though, the situations and the options as to why women may want to get an abortion varies. So for instance, I have stated the different types of options that they might have because of their situations and environments. They simply are trying to care for the child, but in a different way. If we were to illegalize abortions, this could still very much go into the wrong hands of people who can take advantage of women. In fact, there can be a malpractice of abortions and create many hazardous situations for women and create more deaths of them because of the unsafe practice of abortions. Yes, we do need to fix our situation when it comes to sexual precautions, but it all starts with why we shouldn't control the bodies of women and instead let them speak on their own.